Hey everyone, and welcome to Find Your Flow. Today we have a gorgeous practice that's going to gently wake up the body and send some loving kindness all over. So hop onto your mat and I will meet you on mine. Starting on the ground in a comfortable seat. So take your hips up onto some sort of support, and you can come to cross the legs if that feels comfortable, finding a traditional Sukhasana, or find any other position that feels great. Just keeping this lovely long spine. Resting the hands wherever they feel most comfortable, and closing the eyes. Right away, tuning into our breath. Just inhaling and exhaling and knowing that we're doing this with this awareness. And just by doing this alone, we are sending some loving kindness to ourselves. But how else can we do that within our practice today? As we float through our postures, can we do this with a sense of ease and a softness? Notice where your attention's drifted here. And bring it back to this space by scanning through the body from the crown of the head all the way down to the tip of the toes, with every bit of space in between. And if we're holding any tightness or tension, any fussiness, can we be aware of this and find a way to soften and release? So if we're clenching our face muscles, our shoulders are up near our ears, just finding a little more space. And coming to find 5 more breaths here. Inhaling completely through the nose and completely out of the nose. And then opening your mouth, and on your next out breath, softly sigh it out. Twice more. Inhaling. And once more. Exhaling to let go of any last bit of tension we're holding on to. Softly opening the eyes as we reach the arms out wide, grow a little taller if we can, and cross the left arm over the right and bring the hands around towards the back body. Just take a nice hug here. And opening the arms wide and crossing the right arm over the left, hugging the opposite way, really feeling into the back body as we take a breath here. Nice, and releasing, arms float wide and then hands come to the back of the head. Just keeping this here really softly, elbows wide, floating the chin down towards the chest, gaze towards the ground, and then over towards the right side. Lifting up, gaze towards the sky, and then down. Nice. Circling here, really feeling into this space in our thoracic spine. Once more in this direction, and then 3 times in the opposite direction. Keeping this nice and easy. Hips rooted down towards your support. Whenever you've finished, coming back to find a neutral spine, releasing the arms and planting the right hand down onto the ground, reaching the left hand all the way towards the sky, grow a little taller, and then fold over to the right side, keeping the right shoulder away from the ear, really lifting our heart space all the way up, breathing in, breathing out, floating through center over to the left. Nice, right hand reaches before we fold over to the left. Breathe into the intercostal muscles in between the ribs, grow a little more. And then come all the way back to center, jumping forwards into tabletop. Wrists beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. Spread through the fingers, root down through the tops of the feet, and float the tailbone down to the ground as we arch the spine. Drop our gaze, come into cat pose, and feel free to waggle the tail here if this feels good. And lifting the tailbone, rolling through the spine. Gaze lifts slightly, finding cow pose again. Just waggle here from side to side. Listen to what movement feels great. 2 more times through our cat and cow. Let your breath lead the way here. Nice. Then floating back to our neutral spine. Bringing the left hand towards the center of our mat. Right hand comes to the sternum, the center of the chest. And then sending and spiraling our ribs over to the right, we open. Finding a twist and then releasing twice more. Inhaling to open. Exhale to release. And one more time. Really spiraling the heart round to the right. Beautiful, softening, bringing the left hand back out and reaching the right hand towards the sky. Really finding a little more length before threading it through and under the bridge of the left arm. Resting the right heel on the ground. Take what support you might need to here to really soften into our threading the needle pose. Keeping the left hand either on the ground or reaching behind to the small of the back, but keeping this active so we aren't just collapsing into this twist. Wherever we are, finding one more breath before pressing the left hand down and reaching the right hand back towards the sky, opening and releasing, but reaching our right hand all the way forwards, keeping our gaze down, neck long. Sending the left leg back behind us, toes stay on the ground. And we can either stay here or start to explore floating the left leg off the earth, sending away through that left heel, actively pressing towards the wall or whatever we have behind us. Reaching a little further away as we connect to the center and our deep abdominal muscles. One more breath. And releasing, nice. Just wiggle through the hips here. Roll them around in a nice circle in both directions. And then come back to center. Right hand towards the center of our mat. Left hand to the center of the chest. Inhaling to open, spiraling to the left side. Exhale, release twice more. Taking the right hand back out, reaching the left hand towards the sky, finding a little more reach before threading it through and under the right arm. Nice. Take the support you need here and really listen to how this twist is today. Maybe we keep the hand on the ground for support or reach it back. Listen to what feels good. Take every posture as it comes every day. One more breath here. Before pressing down through the right palm, left hand reaches for the sky. And then softens but reaches straight forwards. Nice. Keeping that really lovely long neck, sending the right leg behind us. Option to stay here or send the right leg away, keeping the hips nice and level. We don't need to lift super high. Really feel the fingertips and the heel reaching the two opposing directions. One more breath. And releasing tabletop, but tuck the toes under. Walk the hands a little bit further forwards, just a tad. Sending the hips over to the right, then all the way back around in a circle, rocking forwards over the wrists and then back over the feet. Nice. And really just make this a super funky circle. So get the hips involved, the side body, the wrists, the elbows, perhaps the head and neck. And send your circle in the opposite direction. Nice, and then coming back. Tucking the toes, sitting onto the heels, we'll reach the arms even further out. Pressing down through the palms, we'll float the tailbone high into the sky, downward facing dog. And just pedal through the heels, wiggle the hips, keep the knees soft, so we can find a little more length through the spine, opening into the shoulders. One more breath here before everyone slowly, really slowly bring the knees down towards the ground. Hover them off the earth before they get there. Our weight's forward now, shoulders over the wrists. Keep hovering, keep hovering. One more breath. And then send the knees wide, big toes come to touch. Sitting back in a child's pose. And make this your own today. As we come to our balasana, if we have some space between our hips and our heels, or our forehead in the ground, can we use our at-home props to bridge this gap? So bringing a cushion or a pillow, anything at all. And in our child's pose, hands reach over towards the left side of the mat. The right hand might like to float on top. Just find a couple of breaths here. Keeping the hips down towards the heels and then sending the hands through center and over to the right. Nice. Making your way back and lifting up. Walking the knees back now. So we shift our weight forwards over our wrists beneath the shoulders. And we've got a couple of options. We can either send the elbows behind us and strengthen as we come down nice and slowly, or bring our hips, tummy, chest and chin down. Everybody, however we get there, coming to meet on the earth with our forearms on the ground, elbows beneath our shoulders, and spreading through the fingers as we press into the palms. We'll lift our heart forward, keeping our head and neck an extension of our spine, and come to find Sphinx pose. And if we feel any tension or tightness in the lower back, I invite you to maybe take the feet a little bit wider, so we're sending a bit more space to the sacrum. And only lift as far as is comfortable here. So we're not muscling into this and keeping our glutes tight like a walnut, but rather pressing down through the forearms and the palms to help rise up. Opening the front body, strengthening the back body. Find one more breath here. And then send the left shoulder towards the center, gaze past the right. Send the right shoulder to center, gaze past the left. And then coming all the way back. Sending the right leg off the ground, so the right foot to knee space. And then curling the knee towards the hand. So we're lifting it up, coming to like a half froggy pose. And only do this as far as it feels comfortable here. So even if you're back here just finding a little bit of space, that is awesome. Just breathe where you are. And keep this nice and active so the heart's still lifting forwards. One more breath. Floating the right leg back and down. And sending the left leg up, so lifting the left leg off and then bringing the knee forwards towards the arms. You might feel you have a lot more space on one side than the other side, so just keep really present with that. And come to find one more breath here. Nice, releasing everyone. Come to rest the head on the back of the hands. We can either bring the forehead down or rest on one ear. I'm just making sure we do both sides if we do this. And shaking the hips, just shimmying from side to side. Releasing the hands back down by our ribcage, thumbs near the ribs. As we press down, we'll rise back up, tucking the toes under, making our way to downward facing dog, reaching the arms out and really pressing down to help us rise up. Lead with the hips. Taking one breath in our down dog before floating the hands back to the feet, walking them into our forward fold, taking the feet hips distance apart if they aren't already there, and really allowing the head and neck and arms to hang softly but heavily. Taking a soft release, swaying from side to side. And floating to center, inhaling to lift up halfway, finding a flat back, long line from our tailbone to our crown. Exhaling to release. Pressing down through the feet to slowly rise up to standing, rolling through the spine, and then reach for the sky with the arms. Gazing up if we can, hands come to the heart. And coming to a mountain pose with our feet, hips distance apart, toes tracking forwards, knees softly bending. Keeping the hands here at the heart center, we'll twist over towards the right side. Now, keeping our two headlights on our hip bones facing forwards as much as we can. Really exploring this twist through our spine here, through our rib cage. And when we get over to our right side, reaching the arms open and away. Left hand forward, right arm back. Then bring the hands back to center. Come all the way back and over to the left side. Opening the arms and floating them back together. 2 more times to each side. Imagining we have 2 headlights on these hip bones and we want to keep them facing forwards. And if the shoulders are creeping up near the ears, can we notice this? Find a little bit more space. Nice. So keeping the breath really soft. And whenever you finish, come all the way back. Reach the hands to the sky, keeping the palms together, breathing in. Breathing out, release the hands, fold forwards, chin towards the chest, rolling all the way down. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, release. Walking the hands forward, back into our downward facing dog, or taking a child's pose here. And then we have a couple of options here. So either staying or coming up to a down dog, or coming down onto the knees and finding all fours wherever we are. Reaching our right leg off the mat, bending the right knee and finding nice big circles. Imagine you have a pencil attached to your kneecap and you're trying to draw as big a circles as is comfortable and as you can. And then send your circles in the opposite direction. Be mindful that we aren't collapsing into this left side. Take our right leg a little bit lower if we need to. Nice, and then stepping that right foot all the way forwards, back knee comes down into a low lunge. Reaching the hands forwards and then towards the sky, softening the elbows, taking a breath here. Nice, then holding the left wrist with the right hand, reaching tall and folding over to the right. If we feel a bit unstable here, maybe walking our legs a little bit wider in our stance. Floating through center, right wrist with the left hand reaching tall and then folding to the left. Nice. Keeping our front knee over our front ankle. We come all the way back to center and then send the left hand down to either our prop or the earth. Right hand comes to the center of our chest with this bent elbow. And then as we inhale, we'll spiral our heart over towards the right. Lifting towards the sky slightly, exhaling to release. Nice, twice more. Keeping nice and long in the spine. And releasing back to center. This time we might like to lengthen the arm and reach it all the way up. Feel the space, breathe into it. And releasing all the way back. Either coming to your tabletop or downward facing dog. Finding this on the other side. Left leg reaches off the mat behind us, then bending that left knee. We find our pencil and start drawing our circles. Sending your circles in the opposite direction. Just really being gentle with the hip today, so only go as far as feels comfortable. And then stepping that left foot all the way forwards, back knee down, rising into our low lunge, hands reach, and softening the shoulders. One breath here. And then taking the right wrist with the left hand, reaching tall and over to the left, we fold. Coming all the way back, left wrist with the right hand, we fold over to the right. Nice. Coming back to center, right hand comes down this time onto your brick or the earth. Left hand floats to the center of the chest and really spiral through the ribs as we open to the left side now. Exhaling to release twice more. And after we finished, we might then like to reach the left hand, finding lengthen the arm. One breath here before releasing, planting the palms either side of the front foot and either stepping back into a downward facing dog or coming down to a child's pose. If you're in down dog, finding 3 more breaths here. Find something new. In this posture you might have done 5 times or 500 times. What can we explore here that might feel different to last time? And after your third and final exhale, slowly bringing the knees down, everybody meeting in your version of Balasana, child's pose. And if the arms are a little tired, it might feel nice to bring the hands on top of each other, palms on the head, forehead on the back of the palms. And if we're looking for a bit more in the shoulders, we can walk the elbows forward, keeping the forehead down, and bringing the palms together and up and overhead. One more breath here. And then pressing into the palms, slowly lifting up. Scooting the legs to one side. As we come to sit in the center of our mat, feet on the ground, and reaching the arms out in front. We'll curl our chin towards our chest and just start to slowly lower down towards the ground. But when we get halfway, stay there. And lift all the way back up. Nice. Keep breathing. Chin towards the chest. Start to roll down. Stay halfway. And then lift up once more. Can each of the toes stay on the ground? Stay halfway down. Breathing in. And this time as we breathe out, come all the way down. And hug the knees in towards the chest. Just rock from side to side. Lovely. And then taking the knees a little bit wider, more towards the armpit space, one hand onto each knee, and circling the knees round, sending them out wide, and then forwards. Using the hands more as guides. And circling in the opposite direction. Nice, and then coming back to center, lifting the arms all the way up and lifting the knees, but so the shins stay roughly parallel towards the sky. And if we feel our lower back arching off at all here, can we just bring the thighs in towards us a little bit more? And then just start to rotate the ankles and the wrists. Start to move the fingers and the toes. And then get the elbows and the knees involved. And this almost looks like we're treading water on our backs. So open the knees a little bit, open the arms, find space in the hips and the shoulders, and just really move here in a way that feels great. And listen if we are clicking like crazy. Just accept this and love it, smile. And come to find one more breath here. Before releasing, feet come as wide as our mat, arms just soften, and we roll the right thigh out, left thigh in, windscreen wiper. Then over to the other side. And 2 more times each way. Making your way to center when you've finished. And sending both legs out long, resting the arms where they feel most comfortable for our final and most precious resting posture. Taking all of the tension away from our muscles. Relaxing the face, spreading this down through the neck and shoulders, tops of the arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms and fingers. All the way down the front body and the back body. Simply letting the stomach rise and fall with your breath, taking the softness to the hips and the pelvis space and spreading it down both legs, the thighs, the hamstrings, the front of the knees, the back of the knees, the calves and shins, ankles, tops of the feet, soles of the feet, all the way to each of our toes. Notice where your awareness might drift here. Can we tune back in either to the feeling of our breath or the sound of our breath? We might like to visualize our breath as it travels in through the nose, around the lungs, and all around the insides, the body, and then back out of the nose. Staying here for as long as you'd like to. Or if we have to boogie, floating the palms together and bringing them towards the heart. Alright, thank you so much for joining me today. Until we meet again, namaste.